Welcome to yet another episode of Singapore's Real Estate Explained, where we actually break down bite-sized information for you and also go through new launch analysis. So today we have Chris, our Director of Investment, and we'll be touching on a new launch that people have been asking us about.
Yes, and this has lots of news about whether there's an oversupply of new launches in this area. So yes, without much further ado, let's run into this project. The name is called
Lentor Hill Residences.
Residences, yes. And basically, it's at Lentor and it's near to a hill. That's why it's called Lentor Hill.
Okay, fair enough.
And typically, a very big hot topic in the market today is asking, is there an oversupply in this area? Because there's a lot of news where there are upcoming land bids. Okay, so without much further, let's look into location.
Yes.
Okay, so locality-wise, I actually found near Lentor MRT. In fact, it's just less than a few minutes walk away.
So we sheltered walkway all the way to the MRT. So something that's very convenient.
Yes, indeed. And it's surrounded by a lot of landed enclave. If you look around on the north side, there's a lot of Lentor. This Lentor area quite famous for a low-rise landed.
Yeah.
And up to now, it's all greenery, green fields. In fact, I actually stay near there, so it's quite a nice place. If you run around the area, it's very, very quiet.
So I'm sure you're very excited about the new launches that's upcoming also.
Yes, because it actually boosts up the price for a lot of the resale around the area, which we'll discuss more later on.
Yes.
And in fact, if you run around the area, it's a very quiet place.
Yeah.
A lot of birds chirping, chopping.
And I think something that's interesting that it's actually built along around the future Hillock Park. So people that actually buy into this area, I guess you'll be living in a very serene environment.
Yes, indeed. And there's also an upcoming mall that's coming out in Lentor Modern, one of the mixed development with commercial and first floor, and now by Guocoland. In fact, if you know Guocoland by itself, right?
Yes.
They are very well known for creating very nice shopping malls integrated with some fun form of great living environment. So that's something that I'm looking forward to. Okay, let's take a look at the number of units in this project. Okay, so site area wise, you can see it's 180,000 square feet, quite a big plot of land. Okay, plot ratio is 399 year and 958 units.
So very healthy number of units.
Yes, indeed. Like 400, 600, which is not like too big or too small.
Yeah.
And interestingly,
blocks and stories.
Blocks and stories.
It's very interesting. I thought it would be referring to how many blocks and certain stories, but I see a lot of numbers over here.
Alright, so there's one block that is 8/15 story. So what does it mean? It just means that in a single block by itself, yes, one of the partial of the block there's 15 stories and the other is 8. So it's like like L shape.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's quite nicey. Another block is 17 stories and then one is 23 and 22 stories, one is 21. So it's quite a good variety, and last block is 8. So it's a very nice landscaping, like like a Lego block kind of concept.
Yeah, so this different blocks and stories actually look pretty familiar with one of the new launch that was recently launched also.
Yeah, which is Reserve Residences. Very nice landscaping.
Yes.
Very different, very in terms of stories height.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let's take a look at the developers. So we have Leong, Guocoland, and TID. And fun fact, do you know that Guocoland actually own a portion of TID? And in fact, Leong actually own Guocoland.
So basically, they're all under the one parent company.
Correct, one parent company called Leong Group. So there's some fun fact to know if you want to know what's the relationship, because they are typically bidding for the same plot of land but different subsidiary company holding under Leong Group. So with that, let's take a look at the different projects done by Leong.
Warwick Residence.
And Guocoland. Yeah, Warwick. So Warwick by itself...
something is very well known in Singapore.
Yes. And Dyson, the one that... your hairdryer actually bought the hen house at a record-breaking prices.
Yeah.
And this is some of the iconic development. And fun fact, do you know Tanjong Pagar, before Warwick was up, it was actually a dead town.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of new launches in the area. And being in the CBD, essentially in the past, there wasn't many people that lived there. So weekends, why people call it like the ghost town.
Yeah, it goes down. But when Warwick was done, it was something that created a brand new, fresh breath of feeling in this entire area. And they basically... during the weekends, they actually have like Zumba classes, like HIIT classes. They try to integrate work, live, and play within the same area.
Work-life balance,
Yeah, work-life balance, which is very important, especially in CBD, very stressful.
Yes.
And in fact, do you know that Warwick Residences, the shops are open 7 days a week? So you don't allow them to actually close down the shop during the weekends, which is something quite rare for a CBD area.
Yeah.
So some things that Guocoland is quite well known to be a flagship project, something that they want to revitalize the place.
Yeah.
And they're also very particular about the finishing to actually really maintain their brand.
So when we see Guocoland actually entering into a particular location, you can kind of see, the plans that they have for this entire area. 5-10 years down the road, they've already planned out, what the entire area was going to be like.
Correct. And there's also another flagship project by Guoco, which is Midtown Modern, Midtown Bay area.
The Bugis area.
Yeah, Bugis area. They actually revamp the whole place. So it's something very unique. They like to come to areas where it's empty and rejuvenate the whole place.
Yes.
That's something that is very exciting, which the price went up quite a bit, like 20+, 30+% for Midtown Modern. And last but not least, recently there's one also called One of Eden.
Yeah.
It's a mixed development which they bought and they revamped the whole place. And it's one of the land bids enter the Buona Vista first, and currently have already seen newer land bids going at almost 300-400 per square feet higher. Yeah. So it's quite interesting. They have a very diverse kind of background. And the key thing with Nick Note is in terms of finishing and the rejuvenation of land, that's something we are quite excited about, especially in this area.
Yeah.
All right. So let's take a look at the connectivity.
Yes.
Okay. Maybe Grace can bring us through.
Yeah, so I think for connectivity wise, you're definitely very convenient because you're next to the MRT. In fact, it's a sheltered walkway to Lentor MRT. So no worries when it's raining. Even if you forget your umbrella, it's fine. You can take the sheltered walkway all the way back. I think in terms of convenience, you're right next to Lentor Modern, where upcoming there'll be commercial shops around. So you definitely get to enjoy the benefit of integrated development also while being in a fully residential. You just have to walk next door, right?
Yes, indeed. And next, let's take a look at the schools. For schools-wise, it's quite interesting. Anderson Primary, CHI St. Nicholas, Mayflower Primary, Ang Mo Kio Primary, Choa Chu Kang Secondary and Presbyterian High School. Yeah. So it's quite a good mix, especially of CHI St. Nicholas. Okay, and Mayflower Primary, they are quite known as mid-tier to top-tier schools. So there's something that I can keep a lookout for parents who are looking for a good school.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay? And next, let's take a look at the amenities around this area. I think Grace has covered most of them, but I want to add on some things like grocery store market. If you already know, say near Lentor area, there's actually quite a big market right behind the Lentor MRT area.
Yes.
So you have a very nice mix of market, wet market, along with HDB shop houses, as compared to just a big mall which is upcoming, quite exciting.
So I think residents in this area then have a good mix of choices, for upcoming amenities, whether you want to go for a higher end shopping center or you just want to go to your local coffee shops and grocery market.
Yes, indeed. And there's something very exciting for this area because if upcoming more, that's why actually I stay near the area, and why I bought into the area is also this particular transformation happening. But we can actually discuss more in the subsequent slides when we have a more in-depth discussion.
Yes.
All right. So let's take a look at the shopping malls that's existing around the area. Okay, honestly, Broadway Plaza, District Mall and Jubilee, actually near to Ang Mo Kio area. Not really a Lentor, but nonetheless it's like 4-5 bus stops down. Yeah. But the upcoming Lentor Mall, as I mentioned just now, this is a mall that is really can rejuvenate the entire space. Yes. And if with the new flagship project that Guocoland is bringing in, that's something we are looking forward to revitalize the whole place, which currently just an empty plot of land. Okay. And in terms of the other amenities I mentioned just now, in terms of the market that's over there, food center, along with Choa Chu Kang CC. Add on also the very nice garden area can walk.
Yeah, I think that's a key thing in this area, despite being in a location where, some people feel like it's a little bit further. But I guess the good thing is, you're surrounded by greenery, and I think that plays a big part in feeling good for the day, right?
Yes, indeed. The fun fact, my dad loved to run around the area. And he'd like to run all the way to Thompson Nature Park down to Marriage even. And that's something that is very nice.
Healthy living, they say.
Healthy living next to the rainforest. All right. So next, let's take a look at the numbers, which is a key thing we're always looking at, which is the technical analysis. All right. So let's run through the polynomial trend line. We're looking at this area. So in terms of plotting wise, we took all the district 26 and 28, which is Upper Thomson along Choa Chu Kang area, which is around there. Currently, sad to say there's only 14 data points, but I give a high R square of 0.94. And
so ideally, we will want to have more data points to get more accurate results. But I think in this case, this is something that we have to consider, that we are working with a limited amount of data also.
Correct, because there are not many launches around the area. which of course is not a full representation, but it is a brief, sneak preview of what we see.
Yeah.
So for projects that complete in 2027, typically what entry price you enter right now is actually below 2297 per square feet. So with R square, it's quite decent. And so you buy something below that, that's something that presents some opportunity. But of course, more data need to be furnished for the one bedroom over here. And of course, looking at one bedder, one thing you need to highlight, which is very important, is look at the supply and demand to compare. And one thing we noticed, the supply of one bedder will be high in this area, but demand so-so, which is understandable because a lot of people staying there. Not many much of no amenities.
Mainly will be for families also, where the demand might be towards the bigger units as compared to like these smaller one bedder units.
Yeah, so something that we always recommend. Yeah, not buying the one bedder, but 2 or 3 bedders. And next, let's take a look at the 2 bedders. Once again, the demand points for 2 bedders is not a lot, or so close to just above 15, 16.
Yeah.
But typically, ask and 0.96 entry price. If you have something entering now, something compared to 27, you buy below 2297 is something that is still doable. And something very interesting, the demand for such bedrooms is much higher as supply is low.
Yeah. So
it brings a certain form of opportunities for the 2 bedders over here. Yeah. And fun fact, if you look at this area, right, a lot of the 2 bedders, if you know, they are usually bigger in size.
Yep.
Big floor plate. That's why some of the PSL, if you enter something at completed in 1995, 1996, the PSL is sort of low, but the environment, if you go to each of these developments, it's actually very nice. Very nicely done up. So it's something that you can do comparative. Okay. And next, let's take a look at 3 bedders. 3 bedders, in terms of the average price, of course, is lower because it's bigger bedroom. 2131 per square feet. Okay, very interesting. And R square is 0.92. But once again, for the past 2, the 1, 2, and 3, data points not enough. So we really need to gather more, which is usually close to 40 to 50.
So we try our best to work with the amount of data that we have at this moment. I think ultimately it's just a guideline for us, and ideally we have more data points to work with in the future also.
Yes, indeed. And one thing to note about this area, okay, what I like about this data chart, you can take a look, right? In terms of the polynomial trend line, okay, R square is 0.92, have been quite consistent. But key thing also is take a look at the demand and supply. The supply of 3 bedders are very low here. You can see at the bottom right, as compared to demand, which how we trace is to look at a number of listing that's on portals versus the number of inquiries and number of people inquiring there. You can see, if you buy a 3 bedder, there's something that exit strategy is even easier. Yeah. Exiting. And one thing to note why such a case is because there are good schools around the area. Yeah, and they are also near to the nature. You should family love. Somewhere want peace and tranquility.
And that's when we see the 3 and 4 bedder with a bigger size units to be higher in demand as compared to the smaller units.
Yes, indeed. And let's take a look at the 4 bedder, last but not least. Okay, 2158 per square feet. And by below this is something that's good. And same as the 2 and 3 bedder, the demand outstrip the supply. Which is very strong. And with this, R square rate also 0.97, but as usual, not much transaction. So honestly, it's just a benchmark. We take a look, but we need to look at the qualitative analysis to really get a bigger full bird's view picture of this development.
So I think oftentimes, when investors come in, they really enjoy that we go very deep into numbers, but that's just one aspect of the entire analysis on the development, because there's always a qualitative aspect of it on what are we comparing with also in terms of the development itself, the amenities, or even the surrounding resale, which we'll go deeper into.
Yeah. In fact, for those who are first time seeing this graph, okay, you understand how we get this number. Is what we did is we took all the resale property that completed in 1995 to 2007, 2006, and then you plot the entire average per square feet. So using this, we can find what is the average per square for each of the bedroom, and we get a bird's view for those that transacted. But once again, it's just only one small part of the investment. We see and look into a better trend line by looking at the qualitative analysis of it. So that's what we do.
So we can move on to the next one, which is the indicative launch price from the past performance. So when we look at the new launch, we kind of tend to dig a little bit deeper on who the developer is, as well as what were their pricing strategy in the past when they actually launched the development. So I think the first one that we'll be seeing is Midtown Modern. We can see that the land bid at that time, after adding in all the construction costs, marketing fee, and lawyers fee, their break even was about 2356. So we can see that the average launch price at that time was 2774. So they launched about 17.7, so close to 18% above the break-even pricing, which is something that is quite common that we are seeing in the market today also.
Indeed. Yeah. They launched it quite sensitively.
Yeah.
A fun fact, in fact, one architect that I know actually did this under design.
Wow.
So they Midtown Bay, the whole concept I want to do is integrated development with very nice landscaping that brings out the entire life. What's Bugis? Fun fact also, if you know, long time ago, it used to be a red light district.
Oh, okay.
So that was like decades ago, 40, 50 years. So the entire red district actually shifted from Bugis all the way out to where it is today, Guocoland, which in the past 20 years have been there. So the Bugis, I went through a few rounds of transformation. That's why I see all the old buildings back then, they were quite old.
Yes.
Today, they've been rejuvenated to a new city, town center. So that's what they want to do. And launching at this 15%, they could actually launch higher, but of course, they also do research market to make sure they launch at the right price.
Yeah.
All right. So next, let's take a look at a Mia Mansion. Wow.
Something that's
very familiar.
close to heart.
Close to heart. Very hard with my good friend. My dear good friend.
Where Jervis is going to be staying in the future.
Yes, indeed. And in fact, when they first launched a price, which is very interestingly, at 2,728.
Yeah.
Okay, the break even is only 1,981 per square feet.
1961.
1,961 per square feet, sorry, 1,961. And wow, this is when they make a 41%.
Yes.
So you can see.
Yeah. I think this boils down to the point that, yes, it's important to look at what the break-even price is for that a developer bid the land for, but it might not, equate to the launch price that they will be launching at, because ultimately, developers are all business people, and if they can sell it at market price and make a bigger profit, I don't see any reason why they will be looking to launch it at a lower price just because they bought it at a lower price.
Yes, indeed. So you look at what the market is, they know that currently, hey, there's no way you can get something so low in the future at 2.8 and maybe 2.7, so they will launch high. But of course, price strategy wise, we can discuss a bit more how they do that in subsequent videos or when it comes to a one-to-one consult.
Yes.
Yeah, but there's something interesting. You see a high range. One is 70%, one is 40%.
Yeah.
So they really look at the market to actually price it.
Yes.
Okay, and next, let's take a look at Avenue. Avenue is at Rio Valley area. Very nice development.
Yeah.
In fact, the bigger units go first, and they launched, in fact, close to 3,002 for average launch price when they first launched. And then it was 30% above break even, which is 2,006 thereabout. So this is something to take note. And when they launch high, something very interesting, subsequently you see the pricing where they enter in. Okay, at the end of the day, they had some that actually went close to around 2,005 subsequently. So this is something very important. When it comes to launching, if you understand how developer price the pricing, not just about looking at upper break even, but also looking at, is this really the right market price to enter? Correct. So that's something we need to dive deep into. But this is something that we can sort of see the past performance, how developer actually price their units along the way.
Because I think for those that entered at the start, they always talk about first movers advantage. But if the pricing at the start is not the right entry price, it could be hard to exit in the future when you enter into such developments.
Yes, indeed. So this is something that we also do take note of so that we don't enter at the wrong pricing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So with this, we do come off with something that is a bit more palatable to consider.
Yes.
Because consider Lentor model, which we will analyze in the future, is close to around 2,000, high 2,000. Yeah, so on average. So something that maybe they want to launch is close to 2093. Or even close to 2001, thereabout. And there's something with this, we will actually be doing an analysis later on in terms of the layout to see what exactly is something that we can compare to. All right. So with this, let's take a look at the launch price. So for now, as usual, indicate launch price is to be confirmed. Yes. So it's something we'll get the data very, very soon once the developer launch. But for this, we can sort of predict, what is the starting price. So for this, let's break down the estimated launch. But of course, it could be lower. There's something that we are being more conservative. If they believe that the market is still something that they are looking at. But from what I see, based on currently, because of the supply that's coming up in the market, they may price it a little more sensitively.
Yes.
At close to below 2001. In fact, but let's take a look. So the one beta, if it's say around 2.2, which is what happened for Lentor Modern. Yeah, they all launched at close to around 2.2 and above, 2.3 even, even 2.5 out of 2005. It's 2.2. It will start from around 994K, which is close to 1 million. Okay. And 1+ study, a bit bigger. Okay. But the jump can be close to 300K.
Yes.
200 plus
1.249 million.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the 2.8, 2 bath.
You realize that they don't have a 2-bed, 1 bath for this development.
Oh, yes. Very atas indeed. Yeah, because they always say that 2-bed, 1 bath, your guests can't use the, additional toilet. So there's no way to stay. And yeah, that's why some of the development, they want to maximize and make sure they sell. They know a 2-bed, 2-bath is something that cater more to most of families here. So they all start from 1.481 million. Okay, so that's around 2.1. They are about 2.150. 2-plus study around 1.595. Of course, these are all predicted pricings. And for 3-bedder, just above 2. 4-bedder, 2.8. And 4-bed dual key, which is something very interesting. Okay, 2.9. And one thing that I think why they have a dual key is because if you know about Lentor, which is quite nice, if you go down to the bus stop, because I stay near there, so something very close to heart. If you go down, there's actually near an industrial estate. Down the way, B1 or even a Science Park estate, which is near to the Apple.
So there's definitely the rental demand in that area also.
Correct, for one bedder.
So I think this is perfect for investors who, you're looking to stay in the area and you're also looking to get an investment property without paying the ABSD. Then this 4-bed dual key will be ideal for you. Or, alternatively, if it will be a multi-generational living where you're living with your in-laws or your parents and you want a little more privacy, then maybe this can be an option for you also with a 4-bed dual key.
Yes, indeed. And what, as I mentioned, it's really close to all the workplace. Where there's Ang Mo Kio, Link Ang Mo Kio, industrial estate. There's down to Apple. Apple have actually a manufacturing store there, which my sister was actually quite keen to apply for just to try when she was looking for her first job. So there's some things that we can take a look at in terms of locality wise to look at the rental. Okay, next let's take a look at the floor plan. So the first one is the 1-bedder, very compact size. Okay, it just came out just a few moments ago.
So pretty standard, not much wasted space. You have your rooms on one side and your living area on the other side.
Which is close to 452 square feet. And typically it's just starting close to 1 million. Okay, and then you have the 1 plus study.
At 581 square feet.
Which, I think honestly they may launch even lower, but there's something that for just a study, which is like a storeroom, the access to the toilet, we are paying a 200k more. That's something we do not really encourage. So
sometimes when we look at, layouts with study, it really boils down to what the layout is like and what the floor plan is like. On whether, the study, it can be a usable area that, some people may enclose it up, or whether it's just a little, like in this case, a little nook in the wall. That some people you can also do it, but maybe, it will be for some people that need like a storeroom.
Yeah, fun fact, Zing call this, my partner, who is my fiancé, call this a naughty corner. So they say that whenever, right?
Your future kid is being naughty.
Yeah, I know that's a naughty corner for me. Okay, why? Because they say one day we argue, I'll sit at the study. Yeah, so this is really the practical usage of it. But honestly, it's quite a sad naughty corner, a study corner where you can put a single size bed, you can't even enter the toilet. So so honestly, these are some things layouts we try to avoid for the extra study. But it's a high routine, a 2 and a 1-bedder, but it doesn't really add any true value. But it comes with an enclosed kitchen, which is something they want to upsell. But honestly, for this, I'd rather not consider a 1-bedder in general. I'd rather go for something that has like a 2-bedder and above if I want to have the maximum profits. Right. So next, let's take a look at the 2 bedrooms. Okay, so the 2 layout. One is very interesting, which is the dumbbell layout, which is very functional. I love dumbbell layouts.
Because there is not much wasted space. You don't have corridor space that's wasted for dumbbell layouts.
Correct. So you can see the corridor space on normal usually on the right. You can see over here a 2-bed 2-bath is eliminated and put it into the living area. So the living usually tends to look a little bigger by visual effect and a bit wider also. It depends on the layout. And both comes in with enclosed kitchen. Okay, just that the 2-bedroom, the normal non-dumbbell layout actually comes in with like open,
so more traditional layout. I think this will be more for, people that feel they want a little bit more privacy in the place where they actually sleep in. They prefer the rooms to be all on one side, and then this might be something that they might consider instead of a dumbbell layout. Yes, you do get more space, but at the same time, when you open your rooms, you're facing the living room. So I think it's a pros and cons depending on what is your consideration.
Yes, indeed. And there's some things that we do analyze a bit more in terms of what kind of profile of buying this area. Maybe small families and basically expats who are working near the area. In fact, this is something that most people will take up because if you know Lentor Modern, 2-bedder all step up. Okay, so let's take a look at the 2-bed plus study. We have one more.
The
2-bed plus study. So one more. Once again, you have my naughty corner.
A dumbbell layout for this one also.
So very functional layout with a study, but this additional naughty corner. Okay, yes, it seems like compared to the previous one, the jump in pricing It doesn't seem to be very, very drastic. Maybe 100 plus K more. So it depends on this jump. Is the jump worth the additional
if you need a storeroom or I don't know, people sit at this corner right outside the toilet to do
their own work, or maybe they seek inspiration when it comes to being near the but jokes aside, what happened is that we can actually, some people, what they do, they hack down the wall here, then they make it the enclosed like a walk-in wardrobe. So there's some function space you can utilize for study. But the actual study bedroom, is it really worth? Once again, it depends on the pricing. But what I like most about this is a very functional layout, dumbbell, my favorite, and also enclosed kitchen. So it's something that adds a tinge of utility in the entire place. Okay. Now let's take a look at the three-bedder.
So we have two kinds. One of them is the more compact one, and then one of them is the one with the yard.
Yes, indeed. So in terms of exit, usually I notice it comes to 3-bedroom. Yes. The one with the yacht may sometimes be a little more expensive, but it may be worth the jump, the price jump at times, because for exit strategy, we notice in this area, especially in OCI area, and also this kind of more like landed enclave and like family vibe area, a lot of people tend to prefer something with a storeroom and a yacht when it comes to exiting. So the price range is not exactly very huge. You can consider the one with the yacht, but of course, each of them comes with its own particular price premium. We need to calibrate. And one thing is the compact bedroom is just someone we have maybe less lower affordability, but just want to get something that is still within the range of 2 million.
But we do see that for buyers in the OCR market where they're actually buying for family, especially if you are a family with 2 kids, you might potentially have quite a lot of stuff that you would need a storeroom to fit your things into. Or if not, then there are a lot of families that with helper where they will actually need the space for a helper's room.
Yes, indeed. So that's something they will consider the bigger one with the yacht. So the key thing is, once again, entry price. What is it that we look at for different bedroom types? Okay, next, let's take a look at the 4-bedroom. Very nice space with multi-generational living. So basically you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 bedrooms. All can put almost a queen-size bed. Okay. And typically it comes in with a store, 6-seater dining, and typically with additional washroom. So a total of 3 washroom. Where one of them is a Jack and Jill for 2 access for 2 bedrooms. So it's pretty nice. Very nicely spaced out and very, very good layout too. All right. And last one, let's take a look at the last one, the dual key.
4-bedroom dual key.
So it's for someone who yes, we don't mind taking a look at something that is for multi-generational living. You don't need a big family, but at the same time, you really want to get something that can pay off your mortgage for a while. Lessen your burden. So there's some things very nice. We thought it quite thoughtfully because Lentor, if you know, as I mentioned, is near to industrial. I mean, some of the area, which actually not near, it's around 2 bus stops down, 2 to 3, all the way down.
But still pretty convenient for someone who is wanting to rent in this area also.
Correct. And one thing, if you think a Lentor area, if you really take the MRT, which is recently, been quite expensive for me because things happened to my car and
So how was that experience?
It was very nice.
I think sometimes during peak hours, MRT might actually be even faster than driving. And I guess you can enjoy your time on MRT if you get a seat, instead of having to be stressed out in like traffic.
And the thing that happened to my car accident. Exciting, like a bumper car.
It's like Chris thing.
Right? Yeah, it's a Chris thing. I guess things happen to me. But I've been trying to take the MRT line for just a few, 1 week or so. A few weeks. 1 week, 1 week or so. And typically, what we notice is that the entire ride down to Orchard is a very nice nice ride. It's around like 15 minutes to go all through the Orchard, 15 20. So that's something that, for people who are staying near here, but maybe their budget-wise is not so strained in terms of wanting to be in the city area, there's somewhere they can consider in terms of rental. So
I think the Thomson East Coast line has really brought a lot of convenience to this area. For residents, you just want to head down to town, you can definitely use the MRT. If not, even for driving wise, you're not too far away from it as well.
Yes, indeed.
So now I think we have a very common question on, with so many upcoming land bids, we should be taking a look later on.
Right now, in fact.
Buyers are concerned, if there will be an oversupply or, how would the pricing be affected by so many new launches actually coming up in the area, all around the same time.
Yeah, indeed. So this is a very, very hot topic right now because people are buying Lentor say, is there really too much supply that's coming up? although yes, Lentor Modern, went up 89% sold out, 90% sold out. But typically, does the supply that coming in will end up depressing the price? And it's something that we do an analysis of it. And it's not just about supply, but also about demand, which we will trace very carefully in our one-to-one consult when it comes to looking at this trend. But let's look at supply first. Supply-wise, right, if you look at Lentor Modern, 605 units, close to 90% sold, left with less than 80 plus units, 70 plus units. So what we notice is, we look at Lentor Hill. Okay, this is the second launch that's come into this area. It's 585 units. And typically, there's another 3 launch that will come out the blue area.
Yes, that has already been sold and awarded to developers.
Correct. So next one, I guess, coming out is Lentor Central Residence, 475 units. Along with Lentor Hill Parcel B, 265 units. And the recently just concluded land bid that was a hot topic, which I'll discuss later on, which is Lentor Garden Parcel A.
Which is the lowest land bid in that area.
530 units. Yeah, that's something that we had analyzed. And then there's add-ons, the icing on the cake. There is Lentor Central Parcel B and Lentor Garden Parcel B that is on tender right now.
Yes.
Yeah, so one thing to take note. Okay, 500 units and 475 units, Lentor Central, Lentor Garden. Okay, but this is something that we need to trace very carefully. But fun fact, do you know that sometimes government may not end up concluding the land bid, even though the land bid, people bid low?
Because it doesn't hit the reserve pricing that what the government
So the government have a certain reserve pricing so that people end up launching at a certain price in the area.
Because I think ultimately government also want to control the pricing of the land. Their aim is not to crash the Singapore market by, having a lower reserve price each time, right?
Yes, indeed. So that's something we will trace later on also to dive deep into it. So much further, let's take a look at the first land bid. Okay, the second land bid, in fact, called next to Lentor Hill. So Lentor Hill, as mentioned, launching around 2021. So let's see, what does Lentor Central launch at? So Lentor Central, typically, there's only 3 bidders that came in, which is understandable because it came after the Lentor Hill Residence, which had more, slightly approximately the same amount of land bidders. So on average, you can see, Guocoland, number 3, interestingly, there's Capital Land, then followed by, your Soy Build and Yen Lot. With Soy Build and Yen Lot, if you know, they are well known for very nice landscaping. They're very good at the layout for Soy Build. Yen Lot is very good at landscaping, which is a leading green. So they end up buying at 1,001 per square feet. One of the highest bid around the area. As compared to Lentor Hill. So in terms of launch price, even at a 10% profit margin, you're looking at 215, 15% around 22 to 23.
Yes.
This is something we need to know because this will actually set the benchmark of the prices around the area to hedge against, especially enter right now. There's a certain profit margin they have to make in order to make a difference. So it's one thing you need to keep a check on. And next,
Lentor Garden. Something
hot topic.
Yes, a lot of people are asking, should we wait for this plot of land to be launched just because, the bid price is the lowest among all the land bids in the area?
Yes.
But what do you think? Do you think that, they will give chance and...
So rumors has it. Rumor has it. People have bought, you realize, right? The one who bidded this land, interestingly, is Guocoland himself. So, and they also team up with Hong Leong once again. They enter, like a boxing ring. They smash the records for the Lentor model 90% sold. So they have confidence. They say, why not just try our luck and beat this last one of the later few land plots. So you understand Guocoland, they are well known for SAC. That's now Mia mentioned. That's why you understand developer how they think and price is very important. They can sell to 40%. So they do not have to sell below because number one, they have holding power and they are known to launch at market rate and they want to hit themselves on the foot and want to sell lower than Lentor Modern, which they know they did well. So it's something that they are a little more price resistant. So to wait for this spot land, honestly, it's not much of like a benefit because
so maybe sorry to burst some bubbles who feel like maybe there's an opportunity or a chance. We also hope that sometimes they give buyers a chance, but looking at their track records on how they actually price, Mia mentioned, it's very unlikely that just because they bid this land at a lower price that they will actually launch it lower than what was expected.
Correct. And that's something that if you trace very carefully and enter, if you enter the right entry price, that's more important than just waiting and seeing. And you never know, you still get a poor queue number and you still buy a 2,000, 324. So that's something that we always emphasize our clients to at least try the ballot so that we can have a chance to at least see what's the entry price rather than just giving up at the start.
Yeah.
All right. So next, okay, let's look at Lentor Garden. What is the launch price? So even if they want to launch cheap, 10% at 1,009, which yes, they have a chance. Okay, or Lentor Hill may also launch at around that price even. But they may end up launching at almost 2,000 to 2,1.
Yeah.
2,000 on average because they simply can do that because they know that's what the market is responding to the area. Which honestly, the key thing is to not just look at supply. Supply is only one part of the story where they analyze the demand, which is very important. That shows you what is the current and the future demand, which of course there's a report that we have done. So if you are keen to drop us a text in our JNA channel, us and our brokers, and we're more than happy to furnish this report for you. All right.
And so, I think one thing to mention also is, if there are some people who are then considering, which plot of land might be the most ideal, you really have to depend on, whether convenience is a factor for you also. Because if you notice that some of the lands are then further away from the MRT itself or further away from Midtown Modern where your amenities are. So that could mean like a longer walk, to MRT. And it may or may not be sheltered also.
Correct. So all this will factor into your pricing analysis to see whether it makes sense to buy this entry price. All right. So last but not least, we have a small lawn plot. It's like like a small little cute mini land that comes into the competition. A site called Lentor Hill Parcel B. Okay, so it's a smaller development. Okay, and they were bidded once again by Hong Leong Group. Okay, so Hong Leong is they really bullish about the area.
Yes,
they see the potential. So 1,001 per square feet. Okay, and there's something to take note. Okay, it was a launching. So when they launch, okay, even at 10%, they were looking at 2,192, and they're one of the later land bids that came in. But something that we need to take note in terms of the launch. Okay, so there's something that we see. So to conclude, these are the launches. Okay, 2001, 2153 are all at 10. Okay, 10%, except for that of your Lentor Hill Lentor Garden.
Yes.
There is around 15%. So there's something that you need to keep lookout because in terms of entry price to exit subsequently, you need to know, are you buying at the right entry price?
Yep.
Okay, so to summarize everything, sum up everything in this model, you can see for Lentor Modern, interestingly, because of the three bidders that are bigger in size, on average is 2,068 per square feet. So it's another thing we need to understand.
Yes.
When launch later on, when we buy, am I buying above Lentor Modern price or below? So it's something that we also did a pricing analysis matrix where you can run very in-depth when it comes to one-to-one consult. One that Lentor Central, Lentor Hill, Lentor Garden, Lentor Hill Parcel B, they're all going at almost 2,001 and above. And for this, the question is, do you think Lentor Garden and Lentor Central, what price your launch at? That is something that we also have to analyze a bit deeper to understand how exactly can we price and enter the right entry price. So to add on to our last news that maybe people may not know, is surrounding the area, there's still another 3 more land plots that's coming up in the future, further future. In fact, this is something very important. Because this sometimes, a land plot may be like it's a double-edged sword.
Yes.
Some areas it's supply. Too many supply is coming, especially coming at the same point of time. But if you look at a long-term period, 3 or 4 or 5 years, it's very important because we know that these are land plots that can set a future land bid price. And by entering early, it may seem expensive for now, but when it comes to having future land plot, these are the ones that we can hedge against to actually get a higher entry price. A very good example, if you know, is this place called Hyper Residence. Wherever when launched, awesome fun, we lost our units.
For the kind of location at that time. Yeah.
Correct. It was like, there's no MRT nearby. But subsequently, when there's new land is coming right around the area, and we can see what is the land bid. In fact, how about right beside there, there's total another 5 more land plots that's coming up.
Yeah.
These are things that we have always been tracing to keep a lookout to see whether this pricing can actually hedge against in the future. And this is something very important.
Okay, so I think a lot of people will then have the question on the demand and supply analysis for this project. But I think this video is getting a little bit long. So we've done a separate analysis on it. So if you do need this analysis, just contact our WhatsApp hotline over here and we will reach out to you and send it to you guys. So that's the end for this analysis on new launch at Lentor Hill Residences.
There's one last part which Jervis and I myself love to do. It's called a BOA approach. Okay, is it buy, wait, or avoid?
Okay.
Okay, so BOA approach. Okay, so with 3, 2, 1.
Yep.
We'll share our insight, okay?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. Wait. Okay, it is totally uncoordinated. We always do that to make sure we have some talking points.
Yeah.
So why wait for yourself?
I think at this point, it's still a little bit uncertain on what the pricing is going to be launched at, right?
Correct.
But of course, we do know that there's a transformation in this area that's upcoming, especially, with Guocoland coming in. This whole place will become like a new town, where they're planning a lot of things for this area. So it's going to be a place where, people will be wanting to live at. You're getting a lot of greeneries in the area. But ultimately, it boils down to the entry price. And
Correct.
We'll see what the developers actually launch it at. Hopefully, it's something that they'll price it sensitively, taking into consideration, all the upcoming launches in the area. And if they do launch it at a sensitive pricing, it could be something that we may look into entering. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, for myself, I love the area. Personally, emotion purchase, I may want to purchase a unit, but typically, as what you mentioned, entry price. But sometimes back to the numbers, back to the figures, is it right intrinsic value entering? So rather than just enjoying the nature and just the MRT and the very nice locality over there for more personal preference, I say I look at the numbers, make sure that is it worth investing.
And I think one more thing that we always do is also there's a lot of resale options in the area. So then it comes to question on whether a buyer want to enter the resale or the new launch. So that's another whole analysis that you have to take into consideration also.
Yes, we'll be covering in the comparative analysis in the next session, part 2, because it's simply too long. So yes, it's a long video, but I come to the end of this video. I hope you don't find it too lengthy.
Yeah, we've hoped that all this information can help you better analyze the new launch property itself. And if you have any questions, do feel free to contact us also. Reach out to any of us through our WhatsApp number, and then we can give you a more detailed analysis on the development as well as the unit selection part. So to end this off, this is Grace.
This is Christian.
I will see you next time. Bye.
See you.